Okay, we have a total of 12 toasts to give tonight. I'll introduce the toasters, and please, ladies, especially, if your shoes are tight and so forth, take them off. The carpet is clean. And we'll get through the toast as quickly as we can. First toast will be delivered by David Cohen, 35 years with the Central Intelligence Agency, Director of Clandestine Services. He was also the Deputy Commissioner for Intelligence for the New York City Police Department from 2002 to 2014. He sits on the OSS Society Board of Directors as the Treasurer. David Cohen.
All right.
Please, may I ask you to stand for
up.
the toast?
Please grab your glasses and raise them. And this is a toast to the United States of America. Unquestionably, unquestionably, the greatest nation on the face of the earth. Here, here. Thank you.
Lieutenant Commander Christopher Randolph, retired, United States Coast Guard, retired, spent 25 years in service in the Coast Guard, was the Deputy On-Scene Commander for the evacuation of New York Harbor. He evacuated over 750,000 people in 2001. He sits on the OSS Society Board of Directors. Lieutenant Commander Randolph.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the nation's oldest continuing seagoing service, the U.S. Coast Guard, I offer a toast. Admiral Losey's, both of his children are in the Coast Guard, so. To our nation's Commander-in-Chief, Donald J. Trump. Thank you.
Rear Admiral, United States Navy, uppercase, retired, Brian Losey, a graduate of the U.S. Air Force Academy in 1983. He was the commander of the Navy Special Warfare Command from 2013 to 2016. He's a member of the OSS Society Board of Directors. Admiral Losey.
Good evening. A tradition of nearly 2.5 centuries, vanguards of our nation's freedom and security. Today, nearly 3 million people serving around the world in our Army, our Navy, our Marine Corps, our Air Force, and our Coast Guard. Ladies and gentlemen, I propose a toast to the Armed Forces of the United States.
Your program reflects Mr. Irv Refkin will give the next toast. Mr. Refkin took ill. He unfortunately is in the hospital, but he asked Eugene Polinsky, please, to take his place in delivering the toast. Mr. Polinsky is a carpetbagger. Those intrepid. That's not a funny term. That's really a very glorious term. He flew 33 missions in support of OSS, inserting people into occupied Germany and occupied France, as well as delivering logistics supplies. His most famous mission was the mission over Antwerp, where he was to drop limpet mines to the Belgian resistance so that they could keep the harbor clear for the Allies. That was essential in the logistic support of the Allied invasion of Europe. 3 missions before him failed. He was the lucky 4th, Mr. Eugene Polinsky.
In awe, in pride, and in remembrance, I'm honored as a carpetbagger to raise this toast to my former boss, our General Wild Bill Donovan.
Next toast will be delivered by Norwegian Lieutenant Colonel Abjorn Leisgard, commissioned in 1995, joined the Telemark Battalion in the Norwegian Army. He has been selected, certified, trained, and is a Norwegian Special Operations Commando. He has served in Kosovo, and he has had several deployments to Afghanistan. He's also a distinguished graduate of the United States Marine Corps University, and he has a Master of Military Science degree from that university. Colonel Leisgard.
At the Guildhall in London on the 9th of November 1914, Lord Belford proposed the following toast. You have today a toast quite new, for one which there is no precedent, but one which I am proud to have entrusted with me, for it is the most important toast that can't be drunk at present time. It's the toast for our allies. As we celebrate the 75th anniversary of the OSS, I want to alliterate the toast and believe that the essence is still valid today. As we stand together in the fight towards terrorism, it takes a network to fight a network. To our allies.
Major General, United States Marine Corps retired Paul Lefebvre joined the United States Marine Corps in 1977. He has served in Iraq, Afghanistan, Kosovo, Panama. He was the 3rd Commanding General of the Marine Special Operations Command. He is an honorary chairman of the OSS Society.
General Donovan's path to the OSS took many turns. Born into an Irish Catholic family, it is no surprise that he considered the priesthood, ultimately deciding he wasn't good enough. Years later, there was strong consideration for making him a Marine. General Donovan's personal views on whether or not he was good enough for this are unclear. As fate would have it, he was assigned to the Army. This turns out to be fortunate because the Marine Corps MOS selection process at the time during World War II might have landed him as a cook. We are lucky. Indeed, that circumstance led the right man to the right place at the right time. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a toast to an American hero, Wild Bill Donovan.
General Norton Schwartz, United States Air Force, retired. He was the 19th United States Air Force Chief of Staff. He's a graduate of the U.S. Air Force Academy, 1973. He was the first Chief of Staff to have a special warfare background, neither a fighter pilot nor a bomber. He's the recipient of the Donovan Award in 2016. He's an honorary chairman of the OSS Society. Ladies and gentlemen, General Norton Schwartz.
I will. Thank you. The Carpetbaggers, the Air Commandos, the Frogmen, the Raiders, the Rangers, the SF, the Night Stalkers. Ladies and gentlemen, I offer a toast to those in the past and those who currently serve as members of our Special Operations Forces. Hear, hear.
Mr. Tom Higgins spent 34 years in the National Clandestine Service of the CIA, the last 10 as a senior field commander. He currently works in a leadership position in financial services in New York. He is also a member of the OSS Society Board of Directors. Mr. Tom Higgins.
Ladies and gentlemen, to the men and women, past, present, and future, of the United States intelligence community dedicated to protecting our freedom and our liberty, the intelligence community.
The Deputy Director of the Central Intelligence Agency, confirmed in February of 2017, is Gina Haspel. She's a career intelligence officer, joined the CIA in 1985. Extensive overseas service in many, many different assignments. She has received numerous awards, the George H.W. Bush Excellence in Counterintelligence, the Intelligence Medal of Merit, and Presidential Rank Award. Ms. Gina Haspel.
Thank you. Good evening. Last February, a few days after I was sworn in at CIA, I had the honor of receiving a letter of congratulations from my dear friend, Ambassador Hugh Montgomery. The letter illustrated what so many of us know, that Ambassador Montgomery was not just a man of rare courage and devotion to our country. He was also a compassionate colleague who believed deeply in CIA, its mission, and its people. For some 7 decades, Ambassador Montgomery poured every ounce of his heart and soul into serving his country. While still a teenager, he left Harvard to join the Army during World War II and served with distinction in the OSS. After the war, he brought his tremendous skills to CIA, helping lead the charge against a host of exceedingly tough targets. Truly a man of action, he spent more than 85% of his agency career operating in the field. In one of his first major assignments, he played a key role in running the Berlin Tunnel operation. Later, he showed his exceptional command of operational tradecraft while helping handle Oleg Penkovsky. Ambassador Montgomery went on to build a reputation as a skilled diplomat, a champion of information sharing across borders, and an insightful scholar who made vital contributions to the study of our history. Whatever challenges came his way, he tackled it with supreme dedication, and the result is a record of achievement unlike any other, one that will inspire agency officers for generations to come. He was one of the most gifted and accomplished individuals ever to walk the halls of Langley. Above all, he was a remarkable American who touched the lives of all who had the privilege to know him. In his letter to me, Ambassador Montgomery closed with a handwritten note, quote, "If I can assist you in any way, please do not hesitate to blow the bugle." That was the last time I heard from him, but his gracious words and generous spirit and his extraordinary example will stay with me. Tonight, it is my profound honor to lead a toast to this extraordinary patriot. Please join me in raising a glass to a true legend of CIA and the OSS, Ambassador Hugh Montgomery.
Lieutenant General, United States Army retired Pat Hughes was the 12th Director of the Defense Intelligence Agency. He developed the first Purple Book, which was a look in the future at future threats that would face the United States. He's a recipient of the Silver Star, the Purple Heart, 3 Bronze Stars. He serves on the Board of Directors of the OSS Society. Lieutenant General Patrick Hughes.
Some of you probably do not know the detail of this man. Lieutenant General Samuel Vaughan Wilson was born September 1923, a native son of Virginia. 2 weeks after high school graduation, in June of 1940, before World War II, he went to the local National Guard Armory where he added 2 years of age to qualify to be sworn into the United States military. He joined the Army and subsequently served 37 years. He was recruited by the OSS and subsequently served with Merrill's Marauders in Burma. He also served in the CIA's clandestine service and later in Vietnam as a senior staff advisor. He was the first defense attaché to the former Soviet Union and Moscow. He later served as the director of the Defense Intelligence Agency and a deputy director at CIA. General Sam completed his active military career in the fall of 1977, having divided his service almost equally between special operations and intelligence assignments. He is remembered for coining the term counterinsurgency and for facilitating the drafting and passage of the Nunn-Cohen Amendment, creating the U.S. Special Operations Command and the Office of the Assistant Secretary of Defense for Special Operations and Low-Intensity Conflict. I'm looking at our honoree when I said that. He is also credited for helping to create Delta Force, the U.S. Army's premier counterterrorism unit. General Sam's many personal awards and decorations included the Distinguished Service Cross and the Silver Star with Oak Leaf Cluster. General Wilson never graduated from a formal civilian university, but excelled in academically and physically in every training and education endeavor. He died June 10th, 2017, at the age of 93. To General Sam Wilson, among the greatest of the greatest generation.
Colonel Ron Johnson retired from the United States Army Special Forces and joined the Central Intelligence Agency. His CIA experience includes multiple headquarters and field assignments focused on covert action and non-traditional duty in war zones. He is a personal representative on many instances for the Director of National Intelligence and for the Director of CIA. He received the JCS Civilian Highest Award, Joint Distinguished Civilian, Colonel Ron Johnson.
I have a script I'm required to follow, but I do want to mention when I was asked to give tonight's toast to our absent comrades, I took a few moments to reflect. One of the first people I thought about was Hugh Montgomery. Much has been said about him, but this is probably the first time we've attended one of these dinners when Hugh didn't play a prominent role. So in his absence tonight, I just want to add to what has already been said in his honor. I also thought about an OSS Society event that I attended not long ago when Director Brennan and I got word of one of my dearest friends who had just been mortally wounded. He is not with us tonight as well. And finally, most recently, our 4 Army Special Operations soldiers who were killed in Niger. So with that, I think probably everyone here tonight has a loved one, a family member, or a friend that is absent and not with us tonight. Their table is to my left. You may have noticed it. The table is round to show our everlasting concern for our missing. The tablecloth is white, symbolizing the purity of their motives when answering the call to duty. A single red rose displayed in a vase reminds us of the life of each of the missing and their loved ones and friends who keep the faith while awaiting answers. The vase is tied with a red ribbon, a symbol of our continued determination to account for all of our missing. A slice of lemon on the bread plate is there to remind us of the bitter fate of those captured and missing in a foreign land. A pinch of salt symbolizes the tears endured by those missing and their families who still seek answers. The Bible represents the strength gained through faith to sustain those lost from our country, founded as one nation under God. The glass is inverted to symbolize their inability to share this evening's toast. The chair is empty, for they are missing. To our missing comrades,
Last toast will be delivered by Jim Campbell. He joined the Directorate of Operations in the CIA in 1968. He has a 25-year career in clandestine service in the Middle East, Africa, and Latin America. He's chief of station in several areas. Gentlemen, would you seat your ladies? Mr. Jim Campbell.
Quiet. This is an especial privilege to recognize all of those women who have served and those who are currently serving our great country in an official capacity, but also for all of those women, many of whom are here tonight, whose devotion to family and country provide that bulwark of mission success. Gentlemen, to our ladies.